Hi guys, here we are in Module 5, Lesson 16, Video 3. Welcome back. So here we have our regular rectangular prism again, and I just have a couple questions about it. This part right here, okay, we have our length and width, right? And then we have this part right here, yeah? This is called the height. Yes, this is called the height. What if I change it this way? What if I hold it this way? And now we have this being the height. Could this be the height? And this could be the length and the width, right? So it can change depending on how we're holding it. Basically, we want to make sure that we identify one thing as the length, one thing is the length, one thing is the width. You know, some kids sometimes do like, well, the length has to be longer. It really just has to be two measurements of the face, and then the height has to be the other measurement. So in this case, here's the height, but if we make this the length and width, then this could be the height, right? So you just have to have those three measurements, and you can change them around. All right, so hopefully you have your books, and we're looking at number 1 in your book. Looks like this. And we're looking at labeling the length, width, and height of the rectangular prism. And I already did that for you. The length, the width, how wide it is, how long it is, and how high it is. But like I said, I just want you to look at this for a minute and think about, we could have maybe the length, width, and then the height here, right? Depending on how you turn it, because it's a 3D shape. So make sure that you have those labeled. And we know that rectangles have 4 sides, right? The place where those rectangles meet, corner, is called vertex. And if you have more than one corner, which you most likely will, it's vertices. Okay? So vertex, 1 corner, vertices, 2 corners. What about rectangular prisms? Do they have 4 sides and 4 corners? No, right? They have faces and edges and vertices, like we were talking about, but more than 4. So let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about a little bit more vocabulary. So this part of your rectangular prism right here, this is called an edge, right? And I think we have a picture of that. There we go. Okay, so this whole thing is the edge. This is the edge. These are all edges where 2 faces meet. Edge where 2 faces meet. And then of course we have vertices, and in number 2 on your book you can go ahead and mark all of the vertices, all of the places where they meet. And I don't know if it has it in your book, but this is just what you can't see in the back. There is a vertex back there too, right? It's not anything special. It's just showing you where it is behind, where you can't see it, right? Okay. How many faces does a right rectangular prism have? Let's look at the faces. Here we can see 1, 2, 3. And then in the back here is 4. And over here is 5. And below is 6. You could also use your shape that you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And like we said, opposite are the same, right? Okay, very good. So we have 6 faces, and we already talked about the base, and it depends on how you're making it stand. What you want to call the base, it would be the part at the bottom. How many edges do we have? So count up all of your edges. You could count them here. You could count them on your picture. How many edges do you have all together? You have 12 edges, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 edges. Yes. How many vertices do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Feels like I missed one. One's back there, one's back there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Possibly 9 vertices, although we should double check that. I could be counting wrong. Oh, it should be 8. That's why. I was thinking it should be an even number. 8 vertices in our rectangular prism. And does it change if we change the size? Are we going to change the number of edges or the number of vertices? No, because it's just going to be bigger or smaller, but it's going to be the same basic shape, right? Okay, very good. And all of the angles of a rectangle are right angles. Are the angles of a right rectangular prism all right angles? Yes, they are. Very good. Because all the faces are rectangles. Yes? Okay, very good. So a property of a right rectangular prism is that all the angles are right angles. Fabulous. Okay. So changes in shapes aren't going to make any changes. Now I just have a question for you. Can you tell whether a figure is a rectangle or a right rectangular prism? It's kind of like the thing we've been talking about in this whole lesson, right? A rectangle is flat. A right rectangular prism is 3D. A rectangle lies in a plane. A right rectangular prism does not. A right rectangular prism has height. A rectangle only has length and width. Okay, so here's the question. If I have a piece of paper, is that piece of paper a rectangle or a right rectangular prism? Sorry if you can't see the whole piece of paper. Try to show it to you a little bit better. What do you think? Got an idea about that? Is it a rectangle or a right rectangular prism? I was thinking rectangle, but then I realized, look at a stack of papers. It has height because the stack, when it stacks up, it has height, right? So just one of them has a little teeny tiny bit of height. Do you see that little tiny bit of height? So this is actually a right rectangular prism. Not the kind we would normally think of, right? We would normally think of this one more. Kind of a tricky question. Thank you for your hard work and your attention. I really appreciate you. Have a great time. Aloha.